Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I want to give you a sketchbook tour of these two sketchbooks. These are both handmade sketchbooks that I've made myself recently. They're not very large, but they're both full, and because they're pretty slim, I wanted to show them both to you at the same time. So let's get started with the little one. This one I covered with washi tape and a newspaper that I got from something in the mail that came from Japan. So it's just a newspaper in Japanese, and I really liked the look of it, so I went ahead and used it for my cover. I started out with this little portrait thing that was a pretty big mess, and the next couple things I tried to do without reference. I really enjoyed using my sketchbooks as a place to just kind of be loose and not worry so much about structure and just experiment stylistically. So I did most of these, like I think 4 pages I did at one time, and I was just experimenting one night and just had like a bit of a surge of sketching. I really like this one over here. I had this idea that I was going to do a series of planet paintings, so I was kind of practicing that. This was the first one I did, and then I did this one, which I like better. It has some nicer texture in there, and I did actually record the first planet painting, like a larger one, but I wasn't super happy with it as a whole. But let me know in the comments, or maybe I'll do a little poll up in the card to see if you guys would still be interested in seeing a series of planet paintings like these. I do a lot of swatching and mess making in my sketchbooks. I'm not the kind of artist who has like finished pieces on every page of my sketchbook. I applaud the artists who are able to do that, but I need a place where I can just make a mess and scribble and have things that don't make sense. So I have that a lot. I thought about doing some gouache and watercolor like gemstones based on an amazing video that I will link in the card by my friend Miriam, who has a fantastic YouTube channel, and it's good. She's good. And then I did a couple just loose gestural things. I've been really interested in the anatomy of the back lately, so I've been kind of playing around with poses that focus more on the back area. And then for an anticlimactic end to this sketchbook, I have these 2 messy sketches that didn't work out a ton. I was just kind of not really warmed up when I did these, and I thought I wanted to sketch a lamb, and then that's it. It was a mess, messy things. And that's it for this little one. This larger sketchbook is also handmade, and this one as a cover I actually used an old packing envelope, something that I had shipped to me from another artist. I just used the envelope for a cover, and that worked really well. I won't show you the back because it actually still has my shipping address on it, but it looks just like this. So I really like the texture on the inside from that packaging, and this is the first sketch that I did. This might be my favorite thing in this whole sketchbook. Sometimes you start sketching and it just feels really good from the beginning, and the whole process just flows really nicely and is really enjoyable, and that's how this one was for me. This is generally what happens a lot more in my sketchbooks, where I have looser things that don't look as polished or as refined, and I was kind of planning for this concept. I wanted like this translucent sort of rabbit mask on a character, and these are just ideas that I had for paintings, different things that I liked and I wanted to try to incorporate in the future. Here I was planning, you may have seen this in a recent video, I was planning for the snakes piece that I did, the portrait with the snakes. So when I shifted the pose, I realized that the rabbit mask didn't work as well anymore. So I started experimenting with other animals that I could use. And here I have like the color comps that I did for that, and ended up going with something kind of like this, but also kind of like this, but also kind of like this. So I ended up just kind of combining some things that I liked from all of these. This is generally what my sketchbook spreads look like. things are not super refined here. I hope this isn't like mega disappointing. I actually haven't done a sketchbook tour in a while because this is what happens. This is what my sketchbooks often look like. It's just sometimes there's some swatches on a page, sometimes there's some messy figure drawings. This is actually pastel paper, and I actually like using this colored paper to put gouache on, and that was really enjoyable. And some more super loose and not so exciting figure drawings. And more figure drawings. I hope that those are visible at least. Yeah, so just trying to warm up and think some more about anatomy.
So it was on the sailboat.
This gouache thing was actually a really enjoyable experience. I didn't use any pencil lines for this one. I just went right in with gouache and tried to build up the form with just paint, and that was pretty fun. This one you can see on Instagram if you want. More figures, and this is I started trying to think about how to incorporate fuller figures into paintings, and I really liked this concept. And I do have a finished sketch that I want to paint that isn't exactly the same as this, but kind of stemmed from this concept, so hopefully I will be able to paint that and share it with you guys soon. More sketches, and sometimes I like to write notes in my sketchbook. This one, I really like the sketch, but I actually can't take credit for that. This was actually just a study of a sketch that was done by Tillith, and she has an amazing YouTube channel. You probably have heard of her before. I really admire some things about her style, so I was just kind of, this is like literally a direct copy of one of hers, so that's not my art, it's hers. I just copied it to kind of think about the things I like about her art and think about how I can incorporate some of those concepts into what I like to do as well. More sketchy things. This is actually for my next video. I was planning out how I was going to cut down a large sheet of watercolor paper to make it into a sketchbook. This is, like I said before, a handmade sketchbook, and in my next video I want to talk to you guys about how I make my sketchbooks. So the sketchbooks I've made in the past, as well as some tips I've learned along the way and my favorite way to make sketchbooks now. We're going to talk about that in my next video. And this drawing paper is actually pretty thin, so I wasn't always drawing on the back of it because it already kind of pushes through. And here I was trying to figure out some color combinations that I like for a project that I'm working on that I'll hopefully be able to tell you guys about very soon. It may even be done by the time I upload this video. I don't know. If it's done, I'll tell you about it then. So, more color things for that. And this was actually a concept sketch for a painting that I did that I can show you. We're going to talk more about it in my next video, but I'll give you a little sneak peek now. It turned into this, and this sketch is actually this painting. This is the original watercolor painting, and I used it to cover this sketchbook that I made. So this is going to be the sketchbook I will be talking about next week as my favorite kind of method for making sketchbooks. I'm not going to show it to you very much now because I want to talk to you more about it in my next video. And then these sketches are actually concepts for a piece I'm working on right now. I wanted to draw a deer, I wanted to paint a deer, and I really like human-animal interactions in paintings, so I had this idea of a girl and a deer together, and I'm working on that painting now. It's right over there, but it's a surprise, and I'm not going to show it to you. I'm painting that one in gouache, and hopefully it'll turn out. It's coming along. I also had the urge to paint like a mermaid recently, so this is as far as that concept got, and I haven't explored it a ton more yet, but I really like the flowing anatomy and the varying shape sizes of mermaids, and they're beautiful, and I want to do that soon. I want to do it soon. This is a mess, and it's a mess. It's just a mess. Yep. This is a sketch I did late at night. I was actually really frustrated as having a lot of stress and anxiety when I was working on this one, and it's nice when I can kind of just splatter paint all over the place when I feel that way, because I can look back and reflect, and it's like a snapshot of that memory, which you might think would be a bad thing, but I actually like being able to look back and see a different side of myself, like see when I wasn't feeling the way I'm feeling now, whether it's happy or not. I still really enjoy looking back on that and seeing how I felt before. So again, another anticlimactic end to sketchbooks. I don't really try to finish my sketchbooks off with a bang or anything. I just let them be done, and I'm actually usually pretty excited when they're full. So this page I'm currently still using to swatch out colors for the painting I'm working on, the deer painting. So these are some of the colors that you will see in that. And this tiny little sketch was actually a concept I was working on for an artist trading card. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of artist trading cards, but it's literally just a piece of art that's the size of a trading card, and you trade it with other artists. And this was my concept for the one that I was working on, and I can show you the card too because I did it. So this is the little card that I made. And I'm not super happy with it. That's why I'm showing it here, so in case the person that this is for sees this video, I'm probably going to redo it. But that was like my first attempt. And this is 2.5 by 3.5 inches, so like it's pretty small. You can see my hand there. It's relatively small, but I like this idea a lot. I like the concept of artist trading cards. So I'm definitely going to be doing more of these in the future and exploring that a bit more. And this was with gouache, so that was fun to work with. And that's pretty much it for my sketchbooks. I hope you guys have enjoyed sort of this messy flip through some recent things that I've done. And let me know if you guys are interested in seeing more sketchbooks in the future. They're not super refined. I'm kind of intentionally choosing some aesthetically nice looking pictures to finish wrapping up here with you guys. But I hope that you guys have enjoyed this anyway, and thank you for watching, and let me know your thoughts about this kind of thing and if you'd like to see more sketchbook tours in the future. And I will see you next time where we're going to talk about how I make sketchbooks. And okay, thank you for watching, and goodbye, and have a wonderful day, and goodbye. I'm going to make some tea.